Hello. So today we'll be studying cooling load estimation. So cooling load estimation section is very important while you are designing any air conditioning system or refrigeration system. So this is needed for determining the size and capacity of a unit. So it is the total heat to be removed from the space in order to maintain it at a desired temperature. So if you have an ice sponge, let's say, then whatever kg or amount of ice needs to be formed, so that latent heat needs to be taken away. So that is the cooling load. Similarly, if any food is to be stored at let's say 8 degrees Celsius, but the ambient is at 25 degrees Celsius, then that needs to be regularly maintained at 8 degrees Celsius, and that regularly heat needs to be taken away by their air conditioning unit. And similarly, your humidity level is also to be maintained in that space. So okay, that also add to the your cooling load. So the contribution to the cooling load may be sensible heat gain or latent heat gain. Your sensible heat gain is the change in the drywall temperature of the air present in this condition space. Okay, if your temperature is changing, that is the adding to the sensible heat gain. If there is addition or changes in the moisture level or water vapor level in the air, then it is adding to the latent heat gain part. Okay, so your sensible heat gain is will be contributed through your direct heat addition. So that may be from different factors as it is listed in the below to the your sensible heat gain. So heat through walls, ceilings, doors and windows, heat received from solar radiation, heat given by lights. So your condition space, like your refrigerator has an inside bulb, so when you are opening it is glowing, but in your condition space you may have light, you may have fan, you have your TV or computer, laptops, all those electronics items also radiate heat. So that heat needs to be taken away by the refrigerator, by the air coming for conditioning that space. So heat carried by infiltration air. So infiltration air of means, so air may be coming from the outside space through the small gaps present in windows and doors. Okay, so that is considered as infiltration air. So heat may be coming with heat, so that heat needs to be removed also. Okay, so heat liberated by occupants, that is the, if any human beings are present in the condition space, so then due to your metabolism, heat is also removed by the human body. So that heat needs to be removed by the uh, air conditioning unit. So that is also, so these are the factors which contribute to the sensible heat gain. So your latent heat gain will be mainly due to your addition of moisture, as I have already told. So similarly, from your human body, from your air infiltrating into the room, or it may be any process what is happening in the condition space, that is, let's say any cooking process is happening, so then it will be leaving away steam, okay, which will be adding a water vapor to the air present inside the condition space. So that water vapor needs to be removed. So that is coming under latent heat gain. So also, if any human beings are there, that is occupants are there in the space, then through sweat, they will be also exiting water vapors to the air. So that also needs to be removed. So these are coming under latent heat gain. So we'll see some sensible heat gains. This is a sensible heat gain through the walls. So if you see, there is a wall, so outside of the wall, this temperature is at T0. So through convection here, heat is added to the wall, and that heat, convection heat transfer coefficient, or it is also called surface conductance, that is given by F0. And similarly Fi, that is inner side, is Fi. So so outside surface and inside surface, both in the both the surfaces here convection is occurring, but in between there is wall. So in the wall conduction is happening. So this is giving rise to the expression of heat gain through the walls. So F0 into T0 minus T1 into A, K by X into T1 minus T2 into A, so Fi into T2 minus Ti into A. Okay, so this expression can be converted into an expression like UA TO minus TI, that is the overall outside temperature and fully inner side temperature. So U is the overall heat transfer coefficient, which is also given by in the bottom part. So U is equal to overall heat transfer coefficient of the wall, that is equal to inverse of the summation of heat resistances to all the factors. So this is basically, if you want to better clear, you can go through your heat transfer books. This will be very fundamental things are given. So this is U. So U is specified about different kinds of walls in different standards. So these are different values of U which is need to be taken while calculating the cooling load. So directly these values can be taken. So this is according to ISRE standard. So at 27 degrees Celsius. So these are the various factors like brick wall, it is bare, so without plastering it is 2.84. If you have plaster on one side, then it is 2.61. so for different, like if you have exterior, it is color and all that. So what is the thickness of the wall? So these are the, so depending on thickness also your conduction heat transfer will vary. Okay, so for different thickness also your U value will be changing. So these are the U values for different configuration of. So this the major contribution to the sensible heat gain is the solar radiation during the daytime in a very so that is so different factors are there which governs the amount of solar radiation that is contributing to the sensible heat gain. So these factors are like altitude, angle of the sun, that is the, it depends on the locality or position of the local area on the earth. Okay, so that altitude is basically the lateral angle of the sun from the uh, position of the surface. Okay, so it also depends on the clearness of the sky, whether clouds are there or not. If your clouds are there, then your radiation will be very very less, and that will be contributing less to the heat gain. So again, third point is your position of the wall with respect to direction of the sun rays. If your sun rays are perpendicular to the wall, then it will be leading to more solar radiation or more heat gain when your rays are very much inclined and very they are not directly falling on the wall. So objectivity of the surface, if your solar radiation is coming, something is coming, then either it will be reflected or it will be absorbed. So depending on the reflectivity or objectivity, so the amount will be distributed. Okay, if your objectivity is less, then less heat will be absorbed. If your objectivity is more, then more heat will be absorbed to the wall. So ratio of overall heat transfer coefficient to the film coefficient of the outside wall, if this factor is let's say if your outside heat transfer coefficient value plays a major role in heat gain factor, if at all yours at the solar radiation is same level, but if your outside heat transfer rate is very very small, then heat will be not coming into the wall and ultimately to the condition space. Okay, so this factor, that is the ratio of overall heat transfer coefficient to the outside film coefficient, should be, it should be, the film coefficient of outside wall needs to be small, so the ratio will be higher. Okay, so as the ratio is higher, your heat gain will be less. So solar radiation may be direct or diffuse. So direct means directly it is falling on the wall. Diffuse means if you are outside, radiation, solar intensity is high, but the rays are not directly falling into it through some other means, or through the heat is getting transferred to the ambient and then it is coming on the wall, or you can say radiation. So this is an important factor generally considered while calculating your solar the cooling load. So this is called solar air temperature. So this is basically, if the outside temperature is T0, okay, but that is what we are feeling when we are putting a thermometer and that convection is happening, but we are not considering the radiation part. So by considering the convection part, that is QC, and the radiation part, what will be the effective temperature of the outside ambience? Okay, so if your outside surface is receiving QoS, so that is because of Q conduction and Q radiation. So Q convection, sorry, conduction, not convection, conduction, convection. So Q convection is given by F0 into TO minus TOS, that is outside surface, and plus I into alpha. I is your intensity, total radiation intensity, alpha is the objectivity. When you open this factor F0 into T0 minus F0 into TOS, okay, and this F0 is will be taken in the second line of the expression. So F0 is taken common, so that will be coming, so F0 into multiplied by T0 plus I alpha divided by F0. So this T0 plus I alpha divided by F0 is giving rise to TE, which is called solar air temperature. Okay, this is the effective temperature what you can see if you are considering F0. So this is called effective. Okay, so heat gain from occupants. Okay, so if any human beings are there in the conditioned space, then they will be also giving rise. They'll be giving or contributing heat to the heat gain, sensible heat gain. That is because your metabolism happening inside the body generates temperature or heat, which is finally radiated to the ambient. So depending on the metabolism or work carried out by the human being, the heat generated will be vary. Okay, so Astra has defined these factors or these heat loads which are to be taken to while calculating the cooling load at 27 degrees dry bulb temperature. So at for this temperature, so what are the sensible heat and what are the latent heat which is to be taken. Okay, if your adult male is then the factor will be higher. If um, heat is adjusted, then this factor will be higher. So what will be the sensible heat and what will be the latent heat? Because when any person is walking, then your sweat will be coming from the skin. Okay, so that is radiated to the ambient. Okay, so that is also adding to the latent heat part. So that latent heat load has to be also be taken while calculate cooling load. So while so heat gain from the products, this is very essential while you are designing any air conditioning system for any food storage units or of any other storage units. So those products what will be stored inside the chamber, so those who needs to be, so heat needs to be taken away from that also. So if it is, let's say it is at 25 degrees Celsius, but we need to store it at 5 degrees Celsius, then that sensible heating part is called chilling load above freezing. Okay, so that needs to be brought down. Okay, so freezing loads, if the product needs to be freezed, then latent heat needs to be removed from that product. Okay, so that is called freezing. Below freezing, if we go want to go below your freezing point temperature, let's say like if you have something related to water or cold drinks, so you need to store it like ice. Okay, so then from 0 to you have to go to -5 or -8. So at that temperature you need to store. So again, any reaction or chemical reaction or by as the aging of the food or any item is happening, so it will be there will be radiating some heat. Okay, so that heat is called heat devouring evolution or reaction load or respiration heat load. So these are different loads which are to be considered while you are designing or while you are calculating the cooling load for any food or any other unit. So thank you, but along with that I want to say that there are other factors also, but those are not important. Just you are need to remember from examination point of view those are not important, but for real application point of view those are important. That is given in the book, just go through it. So there is nothing much to understand, just you have to take that factor as a part of your cooling load calculation, and standards are there for taking the amount what will be the factor that will be coming into cooling load. Okay, so thank you very much. So this is an important thing. So you just remember to you need to remember all these things while calculating your cooling load. The so different small softwares are there while for calculating the cooling load. One of the very usual and important cooling load, very good, nice and small, can be found out in Danfoss website. Danfoss is an organization which manufactures air conditioning components. So can be found out there. Thank you very much. So you can put any questions on the comment space. Thank you.